Thanks, Lily. Yeah, I'll try and keep this a little bit short, so we've got time for questions and answers and general chat without running over too much. Yeah, so I'm co-ordinator of Newbury Friends of the Earth, and we have run a project called Lockdown Woods, and that has, which I'll tell you a bit about, and that has now progressed into what we're calling the Newbury Nature Corridor. So I guess you'll all be familiar with why nature corridors are a good idea, and particularly in the light of recent political developments over the pond. I think nature is going to need even more help from those of us that are inclined to do that. So we are aiming to connect islands together, islands of rich habitat, and we're very fortunate in Newbury area that we've got some nice fine nature reserves that well, Lily will certainly know about. Now let's see. Right, okay. So yeah, so this is the project, and it's based on the Lockdown Woods project, where we planted over 2,000 native broadleaved species of trees in between 2020 and just recently. We've got 5 small memorial woodlands to the losses of COVID, hence they're called Lockdown Woods. 2 of the little woods are purely comprised of homegrown saplings, so that's little trees that we encourage people to grow from little weeds that they found in their gardens during lockdown, and then plant it out with the aim that you'd get the benefits of the ecological benefits of local provenance of trees that have evolved in the area, and also hopefully would get families and particularly children involved in growing something, planting it, and coming and visiting it, and caring more for nature. So that's the idea. So we are managing these woodlands on an ongoing basis as needed, and they're doing really, really well. We've had very few losses. Yeah, so we had a look at 2 of our little woodlands. So the top, I don't know if you can see my arrow. Can you see my arrow moving around? I can't hear anybody.
Yes,
So.
sorry, Rose, you probably can't see me. Yes.
Okay, so the little green stars are our Lockdown Woods. So this is very close to the centre of town. We have a Lockdown Woods there, and 2.5 miles south of there we have another little Lockdown Woods, and between the 2, this is all residential areas which all happen to have quite big gardens, and there's a big avenue of trees, and there's 2 schools. There's a primary and infant school towards the bottom end, and then we've got a secondary school there as well, and we have got about 10 or 11 sites that belong to the town council within that area as well. So the dream is to connect up our 2 Lockdown Woods via people's gardens and the open spaces, verges, so that animals can move freely within that whole zone, and we tell people that we'd like frogs to be able to hop all the way up and down via everybody's ponds in their gardens, and we'd like hedgehogs to be able to snuffle their way through a nice little hedgehog highway that we've set up. So that's the vision. Just a couple of photos of our little woods. So we planted them with a mixture of homegrown trees and woodland trust whips, which are very tiny, as you probably know. They're about 30 centimetres at most. So those are planted, and some of them are well over 6 foot now. So that's one of the parks. So these were planted all in community planting sessions in various levels of lockdown restrictions, which made it very interesting. But they're mostly doing very, very well indeed. So the nature corridor, it involves the 2 local schools. Both of the councils are on board and are very helpful. Local residents, we are contacting them and getting them involved, largely at the moment through the schools and parents of the children at the schools. We've now got 2.5 scout troops involved, and they're planning to do questionnaires, house to house, door to door questionnaires that they are, with our help, they're designing, and that will hopefully lead to some positive help for people in getting information about how to dig ponds and just holding people's hands through the whole process of improving their gardens to attract more wildlife, really. We have had plenty of funding. We found it very easy to get funding. I think it's probably because this whole concept is such a popular one at the moment. So all sorts of things that we're doing. We've planted some native bulbs. We are going to set up a wildflower area in one of the schools. We hope to get a hedgehog highway down through people's gardens, which obviously will take a while to get people on board. We've got some bat boxes already, and we've got funding for more bird and bat boxes, which we hope to give away, and maybe do workshops helping people to make their own, perhaps swift boxes, insect hotels and so on. We're doing quite a lot of tree planting with the Town Council, Newbury Town Council, and also wildlife friendly hedges on Town Council and District Council land will be going in next year. We've got 3 wildlife ponds being restored at the schools, we hope to set up a nature trail on one of the areas. So we're doing as much as we can. I'll just flick through these. Since you're not familiar with the area, this won't be particularly relevant to you, but you can see there's a big list of land which belongs to the Town Council, and they are really on board with greening the area as much as possible. We've planted some native bulbs in this little area, and we'll be putting a wildlife hedge in along that fence line next year, which is the first time that the Town Council has put a hedge in, because they're concerned about the ongoing cost of maintenance. It's easier to get to have capital expenditure than to have ongoing maintenance expenditure. So this is the primary school. I had a little derelict pond and in a fairly scruffy garden area, as you can see, and we haven't done this work. They have got funding for it, and now they have a little pond with a cover over it, so frogs can get in and out, and we can vouch for that, and but children can't drown themselves in it, so we'll be planting that up in spring. And that's the other pond, which now has a big fence around it, and that's going to be used for pond dipping. On the left it shows the power of nature turning itself into a woodland as quickly as possible. Yeah, so this is the secondary school, which has got a very big nature garden area, about half an acre, which is now derelict, and the children are banned from going in there because it's dangerous because of the decking. So that's all being reworked. Yeah, we have a very old-fashioned system of encouraging the children to to tell the teachers where they live and what they've done in their back gardens, and then the teacher will put a little pin in the map according to the key, and that then will hopefully build up to lots of coloured pins all over the area of the nature corridor, which will hopefully get other children keen to do something themselves once they see that somebody just down the road has put in a log pile or whatever. So early days yet, but we shall see. Yes, so this is a district council area that we're going to put some hedging into, and maybe hopefully put a nature trail in. Yeah, a couple of weeks' time we're going to be planting along the fence line here, and we're going to put some wildflower strips along these banks, which were put there by the town council to stop people parking all over that area. Yeah, so yeah, we're contacting households, but via the scouts, via the schools, via shows and so on, giving information and so on. What we're finding so far really is people might be keen in theory to help, but people don't have much time these days. People are very, very busy. So I think part of our role is to make it as easy as possible for people to do things, to help in a little way. So we've given out little packets of wildflower seeds, for instance. So hopefully they can put some seeds in a pot very easily, and then get enthused by how beautiful it is in the summer and insects it attracts, and then be keen to do a little bit more next year. So it's a process. I think we're not going to achieve anything in 1 year or 2 years, but we're looking to educate, influence, and inspire the naturalists and ecologists of the future, really. Which I'm sure we're all on board with. Yeah, so we want to encourage wildlife. We want particularly to get children involved, because, as I say, they're our future. We want it all to look beautiful, and for people to understand the odd times when it might not look so beautiful. And it will benefit wildlife, hopefully have some effect directly or indirectly on climate change mitigation, just by inspiring people really, and giving people the feeling that they can do something themselves. There's so many people who are concerned about environmental degradation and the news that they might hear every day, that it can make people despondent. So if we can show people that actually you can do something, things are achievable and they do make a difference. So that's the beauty of a corridor, really, because somebody might put a garden pond in and that's all very nice, but if you have 20 garden ponds all in a row, then that's the benefit magnified many, many, many times. Yeah, that's where we had spring bulbs. Yeah, so we just started where we have two of our little woods that are a convenient distance apart through a built-up housing area with large gardens. But why stop there? We hope that this is a catalyst, really, and in fact we already have another one going to be running from another of our lockdown woods, actually. About here, about the middle of Newbury on that map, and then going out through Greenham and out to Greenham Common, which you may know about, which is managed by Beebout. So we've got another one in the early stages being run by a voluntary group and the Greenham Parish Council. And then there's going to be another one, a smaller one happening outside. So, we and that's what we want. We want to be a catalyst. So there we go. So these are our logos, and I'll stop sharing so we can have a chat.